President of the United States of America just looked the world in the eye and said, I don't think about Americans' financial situations. Oh, but it was taken out of context, you stupid lib. All right, you bootlicking maggot shit stain, let's watch it together.
I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody.
Explain that, you traitorous, tangerine taint-licking fucking turncoats. Explain how the first time they've ever caught this motherfucker telling the truth on camera, that's when he's explaining exactly how little of a fuck he gives about the people who can't afford food anymore because he started a war to distract them from the fact that he was best friends with a bunch of fucking pedophiles. Explain why, in the same fucking interview, he bragged about how we needed to double the size of the fucking ballroom and then called the reporter a dumb person because she pointed out that the price fucking doubled too. Explain why inflation is almost 4%, the highest it's been since 2023. Going to the gas station feels like a trip to the fucking proctologist, and people are choosing between food and rent. But the only budgets that the president is fucking concerned with are not the ones that allow people to feed their fucking kids, but they're the ones for his ballroom that he's physically incapable of dancing in, and the forever war he fucking started. Explain that, or get fucked!
To what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody.
Credit card debt's at an all-time high because families are going into debt paying for household essentials like gas, food, toilet paper at an average of 22% interest. And Donald Trump is using the power of the presidency to make his family richer than they've ever been in history. Here are all the companies that the Trump family are invested in that have ties to the war in Iran and Venezuela. Now, these three companies, Powers, Extend, and Unusual Machines, are in negotiations right now with the Gulf states to be the premier drone supplier in the Middle East. I'm talking attack drones, defense drones, drone AI, drone parts, drone fucking everything. And not only that, but they're getting Pentagon contracts. His family is making generational wealth off of this war. Meanwhile, Fox News just said this.
Consumers are literally running out of money.
Hey, me and Brad Doggett are doing a deep dive on this, so stay tuned.
We have some news right now. Donald Trump's China visit is being overshadowed because of his remarks saying that he does not think about Americans' financial situation, so much so that Republicans right now in the United States of America are literally extremely concerned that that statement will be on campaign ads across the country heading into November. Some Republicans on Capitol Hill, like Cynthia Loomis, say, he didn't actually mean it. Other Republicans on Capitol Hill, like Susan Collins and others, are saying, I didn't even see it. And they're essentially trying to get away from his remarks. Remember, yesterday Trump said in response to, well, sir, do you care about the American financial situation right now when you're looking at a deal with Iran? He says, I don't think about the American financial situation. I only care that Iran doesn't get a nuclear weapon. Those remarks have now gone ultra viral to the point where Trump has landed in Beijing, and the only thing Republicans on Capitol Hill are talking about, or rather trying not to talk about, are his remarks about the American financial situation, completely overshadowed. Lots of concern. I'll have more soon. Follow along for all the news you need to know.
I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing.
He doesn't care about your financial situation because he doesn't care about you. Gas is over $4.50 a gallon. Groceries are through the roof. He doesn't care.
So today, Trump said something that a lot of people, I don't know if you knew he said this, but to the people that, really is MAGA and support him and say he's going to do the best thing for you, right now, a lot of people dealing with gas prices, rent is going up, food is going up, everything is going up in this country. A lot of people are struggling. People are canceling vacations. People are, not taking flights like they used to because it was so expensive. So you can't even drive because the gas price is high, right? Because you say, maybe I'll drive and save some money. But no, you're not going to save money whatsoever. But in the midst of all of this situation, I want you to hear what Trump says when he's asked a question about your finances as Americans. Let's go ahead and check that out. Now, we know as Black Americans, right, that they never cared about our financial situation at all. So this isn't shocking that he's saying this, but white America, let me talk to you, kind of like how Bernie Mac used to do, talking about white America. It's quite interesting how every day you're being put in the same position like Black America has been put in this country. For years, they never cared about our finances, if we get any jobs, if we can get some businesses. They sure didn't care if we lost our jobs. They didn't care about the food prices in our neighborhoods or the type of food they'll put in our neighborhoods and areas. They wouldn't care about dropping off a bunch of migrants in our community. They didn't care about any of that. And now this man, Donald Trump, says he can care less about you suffering financially. And for him to say that openly in front of everybody, nobody, forced him to say what he's saying, that should come pretty shocking to you as white Americans. But as black Americans, that's been the policy of the U.S. government for us forever. See, all this stuff that Donald Trump is doing and the Republicans and all of this, listen, all this is nothing to us. Trying to take rights away, they've been taking rights away from us. Not caring about our finances. When have they ever cared about black finances? The only time they care is when we start doing well. That's when they care. But if we don't have anything, we're broke as a joke, they cool. They can care less about it. And now you have been put in the same position as how we as black Americans have been put into. The same exact position. How does that feel, knowing that the guy that a lot of you supported, you went to his rallies, you wore his hats, you swore up and down by the man, and for him to turn around and say he can care less about you struggling financially because all he cares about is his foreign war that he started with his friend Netanyahu over there? They started that war with Iran. Iran didn't go shoot no missiles or do nothing to the United States at all, or neither they do anything to Israel. They didn't do anything. And yet, the American people.
So they asked Trump how much Americans' financial situation are affecting his decision-making with making a deal with Iran. And he said not at all. He doesn't care about how Americans are doing financially. All that matters to him is that Iran doesn't get a nuclear weapon. But we already had a deal with Iran where they weren't going to make a nuclear weapon. Obama had made that deal, and Iran was following that deal. They had international, people coming in and double checking, and Iran was following the deal. They weren't, enriching uranium to make nuclear weapons. And then Donald Trump ripped up that deal. So Donald Trump ripped up a deal, and now he says the only thing that he wants is to remake the deal that he ripped up. Doesn't make any sense. It's very obvious that he's just doing what Isn't Real tells him to do, and he's just doing as he's told, like the last puppets we've had. And it blows me away because at a certain point, I feel like the Republican voters have got to wake up and realize that they're being screwed over by the guy they voted for. Like, that's got to happen at some point.
Today, President Trump made a shocking announcement that has many people extremely upset. At the White House, when the reporter asked him, what do you consider what do you think about when you consider Americans' financial situation, especially leading into this, this meeting in China? President Trump made it very clear he doesn't think about Americans' financial situation at all. He thinks about one thing, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Now, I firmly agree that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. It is extremely concerning as an American, or especially for people over in the Middle East as well. But the problem is the Trump administration has to consider the American people's financial situation. Has to consider this. Okay? I want to read something to you. It says right here, amid war, Trump says he doesn't think about Americans' financial situation. That's a huge problem, okay? A huge problem. It says, not even a little bit, Trump said when asked to what extent Americans' financial situations are motivating him to reach a deal to end the war. He's not considering it, okay? I want to read a couple other things to you. It says the president doubled down on the sentiment when asked to clarify whether the economic impact of Americans was a factor in his decision-making. Says the U.S. inflation rate has risen to its highest rate in nearly 3 years since the start of the Iran war in late February, with increased prices largely driven by higher energy costs. Gas prices rose 5.4% last month and were up 30% over the last year. Still, the U.S. stock market has continued hit a series of records, which is true. Says every American understands. President Trump said of economic issues related to the war, referencing an unnamed poll he said showed an overwhelming majority of people understand that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Here's the issue. I believe it's true. Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. The problem is the American people cannot afford to wait this out. Millions of Americans are struggling. Even before...
I hear that right.
American financial situation, I don't think about anybody.
Yes, you did hear Donald Trump say that he does not think or care about the American financial situation. Are you surprised? Because this is what happens when you put in people that don't have your same lived experience. A lot of y'all were tricked by him going and getting in a dump truck and going and putting on an apron for an hour to pretend to be a McDonald's worker. He is not you. He cannot understand what it would feel like to go to the gas tank, take the gas handle off. Shit, he might not even understand how to open the gas cap, put it in, and watch as your savings just drowns. And before you know it, you see the price is $80 to fill up your tank. You have no choice but to pay that, because $80 to him is nothing. But he and his sons con from the American people every single second. He cannot understand that $80 could be the difference between you having food for that night and going hungry for the next 2 weeks. But that's neither here or there. I just thought you should see that he said it himself. He does not think or care or consider the American financial situation when he's making these policies up in Washington.
American financial situation, I don't think about anybody.
Doesn't give a fuck. But y'all tell me what y'all think. Or were you like some of these senators who act like they could not understand or see what he said?
Donald Trump saying today in the press conference that he doesn't think about Americans' financial situation.
I don't know that he said that.
Yeah, he said it at the mics during shopper time.
That's not what I hear him every time.
Of Donald Trump saying that he doesn't think about the American people's financial situation. He just said it in a presser about an hour and a half ago.
Well, I didn't see that.
You haven't seen it yet? Got it.
Bye.
God, I really, really hope the middle class is paying attention. You have to wake up to what is happening. I know you want to believe you're fighting some battle between left and right, but you got to look at your pocketbook. You got to look at your credit card. You got to look at how radically your financial ecosystem has changed since 2020. This is a neutral thing. You guys can fight back and forth, left and right, Democrat, Republican, MAGA, non-MAGA, but it ain't going to change your macroeconomic and microeconomic situation. We are about to experience the greatest wealth transfer in our living history. This started back in 1988, and I'm going to keep repeating this over and over again. We became completely detached from the reality of money. We don't produce anything in America. We are purely a financial country. That's what we are. What that means is financialization. We are pure debt, pure credit. You are the monetary system. Your 2 cars in your parking garage, your stacked credit card, your vacations on your credit card, your finance TV, your finance cell phone. That is the reason why this economy exists. We don't produce anything in America. President Trump's goal was, with tariffs, was to bring all that production back into America. That's awesome. To bring interest rates really low, to make homes affordable, get the job markets going, construction, get back to the golden era, the American dream. Everything changed April 2025. And I don't know, I'm not a political guy. I'm a macroeconomic guy. I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert in politics. You can attack me in the comments. I'm good at macroeconomics. But what I will tell you, numbers don't fucking lie. You can argue politics back and forth, but numbers don't lie. Money has zero emotion. I don't care about arguing MAGA, left, right, whatever. But the American dream is lower taxes, low interest rates, home affordability, bringing production back into America, people having jobs, booming economy, healthy markets. A year ago, when those tariffs went out to all the countries, something shifted. Crypto didn't do what we thought it was going to do. There was no altcoin season. 10/10/2025, one tweet from Trump collapsed the crypto market $19 billion. A lot of you got liquidated because you didn't listen to me. You took leverage, and I told you not to. Don't ever take. Don't leverage your crypto. Stop listening to these assholes telling you to leverage your crypto. It pisses me off. Stop. You're going to get liquidated. Please listen to me. We are walking a delicate tightrope. The straits being shut down seem to ruin that whole economic plan. Now, maybe there's a rabbit being pulled out of the hat. There's 3D chess playing, but we have to go down to reality and grounding. Look at your credit card statement. Look at your savings account. Look at the affordability of your home. Look at the affordability of your groceries. That's current reality. And it doesn't work like this, where something gets fixed, boom. It doesn't fix overnight for you, it fixes overnight for them because money doesn't hit everybody the same. The top of the house gets it cheap. By the time it gets to you, it takes about 6 months and it has all this interest attached to it. So even if they fix it in the next month or two, we have a 6-month reverberation effect of this economy. So let me ask you a question. If you're hurting financially now, if they flip a switch and fix it within the month, do you have 6 months to survive? No, you have to act now. You have to start creating a budget now. And here's the good news, is wealth is built in absolute chaos. More millionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires are going to be created because the 1% operate completely different than the working class. Here's a fact. 1% of the population has more wealth than the whole middle class now. We're in a K-shaped economy. The middle class is moving down to the working poor. The wealthy are getting wealthier. And guys, look who just got off the plane in China with Trump. They're telling you where the money is flowing. So here's the scenarios. Scenario 1, Kevin Warsh comes in, we get a peace deal in Iran, the straits open up, they drop interest rates like it's hot, inflation cools down, and they print a shitload of money. That's going to make the markets fly. Perfect. If you're in the markets, get some profit off the table as it's going up. Don't rubberneck, don't watch it go up and hit the top and come collapsing down because you're the exit liquidity. The other scenario that I think is going to happen, which is more likely, should happen macroeconomically because we're all over leveraged and the economy needs to reset itself, is scenario number 2, which is more likely, is a straight stay closed for a long time. This becomes a forever war. Keep hearing it's open, it's not open, it's open, it's not open. Inflation continues to rise in America. Kevin Warsh comes in and doesn't lower interest rates and shocks the market. Homes are unaffordable. People can't afford gas. They can't afford groceries. Jobs slowed down because as companies start going out of business. We go into stagflation, which will collapse the markets. Private credit markets will collapse. These AI bubble will burst. And we'll see a market pullback. That's when you strike. You go into markets when they're red. Buy good companies, at a fair price. Good cryptos at a fair price. You have to have conviction. It's opposite of a street light. It turns yellow to green. You start getting out on the top of yellow, going into green. You're the exit liquidity, okay? You're going in when it's red. You're exiting from yellow to green. When you exit, you build protection. That's why our warriors are recession-proof and bull market-proof. We're stoic right now. We can strike either way. We have money in the markets right now. We have protection and defense. So the markets collapse all of a sudden. We don't panic sell, we write it down and we buy more good companies, good cryptos at a fair price. You need a system, not the next best asset. You need to create a budget, you need to create some cash flow. So pay attention closely to the Straits of Hormuz. Pay attention closely to interest rates. Pay attention closely to the inflation numbers. As an American, you are becoming poorer every single quarter. You have $10,000 in your bank account, it's going down in value. I move my money into assets that beat inflation. Go study what assets beat inflation. Gold, silver, my Bitcoin, my XRP over the last 5 years have crushed inflation. You have to decide. I'm trying to help you understand the macro microeconomics, bring it into a simplistic form so you can educate your family, so you can climb out of this trap. Trump said, and I'm going to show you the video tomorrow, he said, I don't care about Americans' finances. All I care is about nuclear weapons with Iran. He said it twice. I don't care about Americans' finances. At least he's being honest, being truthful. So there you go. Stop waiting for a savior. Get your shit together. Head of household. Stop waiting for a savior. I pray for our president every single day. I pray for every world leader every single day. Not that my prayers matter in the quantum field, but I pray that they're making the right decisions. I trust that they're a leader. They're trying to make the right decisions. I'm not waiting for them to save my family, get my shit together spiritually, physically, and financially. So wake up. Make sure you hit the follow button. I bring this stuff every single day repetitively. Go to my YouTube channel, 3T Warrior Academy. I break this down in detail. There's a whole free education section. You can get my book. #1 international best-selling book, #1 in 4 economic categories, #1 international best-selling. It's telling the truth, guys. That's why it's waking people up. I started my next project. It's about a year away. Book #2 that's going to shock the world into action. So I love you guys. Have an awesome day. Warriors, rise. Get your shit together. Love you.
So Mr. Trump was asked what he thinks about Americans' finance situation. Inflation, price going up due to Iran war. He said he doesn't care. Look, it's all over the news. We all know that. He only cares about himself, his family, and his friends. He thinks everyone else, even if they suffer, doesn't matter. And meanwhile, yeah, inflation is the highest since 2023. Just last month, 6% increase in prices. Everyday Americans are suffering. Republicans, they know they're cooked. Trump, do something about inflation. Everything is getting expensive. I still got a lot of savings, but do you?
He doesn't care about anyone.
I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody.
Yes, that is the President of the United States saying he doesn't think about Americans' financial situation. Again, roll the tape.
You promised to bring inflation down. It's now at its highest level in 3 years. Are your policies not working? What's happening?
Policies are working incredibly.
Your policies are working incredibly, you say. Maybe in your mind, but let's talk to average Americans again, shall we?
Just 30% of those polled approve of the president's handling of the economy, a 14% drop from March of last year. And take a look at this. 73% of Americans call current economic conditions poor.
And just in case I need to reinforce this for you again, this is the president clarifying how he feels about Americans' financial situation.
You're not considering the financial impact of this war on Americans?
The most important thing by far is Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
No new wars. No new wars. And he's going to fix the economy on the very first day he's in office. But now we're in war. And he don't care nothing about the economy that he didn't even fix on the first day. But y'all keep having faith in him. Y'all keep believing in him. Yeah, this is par for the course for him. This is par for the course.